Album Concept Hour. The Album Concept Hour. It's the Album Concept Hour.
Welcome everybody to the Album Concept Hour. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, as always. And today we are throwing together an episode. We were going to do Nine Inch Nails' The Downward Spiral, but we are going to postpone that a few weeks. We will get to it, guys. Yeah, for now, though, we are going to dig into our bag and do Voïvod, Killing Technology, which is another one we had prepared. Today, for our co-hosts, we have Virtual John, as always. What's going on, John?
Chilling in the house, you know.
Yeah.
Doing my part.
You back to work after the quarantine stuff?
Yeah, I am back to work. No symptoms.
No residual lung stuff. That's good.
Yeah, so,
good to hear.
Yep. Thank you very much, sir.
And then we have a very special returning co-host. We haven't seen him much since the school year started because he's just working away at that computer science degree. We have Scott Wesley.
Making his way back to the podcast.
What up, Scott? Virtual Scott is here.
Feels good to be back.
Yep. It's good to see you, man. I know that.
See you guys too.
You got to work and do school. It's got to friggin' suck in the time of the pandemic, but you're here.
I guess it keeps me busy, so it keeps me out of trouble and out of COVID. So
Yeah, it keeps you off the street. You know, I know what that's like. And then today we have returning guests who suggested this album. It is the Blasphemer and the Heretic from The Witching Hour, also known as Nate and Reis. What's going on, Nate? What's going on, Reis?
Hey.
That's Reis.
Hello.
That's Nate. I got to figure out a better way of doing multiple guests at the same time, since this is an audio medium.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Well,
Reis.
it's easier to do it when we're all in the same studio.
Yeah. You know, we could just switch it up just one episode just to mess with people and call you by the opposite, you know. So yeah, we're doing Voïvod, Killing Technology, which is Reis. This is one that I think you suggested, right?
Yeah, it is. I can't say it's early thrash metal, but it's great thrash metal.
Yeah. Is that heavy metal?
And it's they set the foundation for. I mean, there's sci-fi metal is not something I would call a genre, but also there are so many sci-fi influenced metal bands, and there is Gent, which is this whole thing of heavy metal that I kind of actually disagree with, but it's kind of a cool sound at the same time. And they kind of had a piece of that, and they had a piece of modern thrash and crossover, and they came out at a time that was really apparent, and they helped pave the way for prog metal too, in a certain way, because they were just thinking outside the box every single album, from everything from concept and like the comic book style characters they were attributing these things to, all the way to the sounds they produced. And I don't know, they're also really fun. I saw them at a place that's now closed down in Milwaukee, I think probably 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
A fucking amazing show.
Wow.
They played with Vector, and
was
they
it
were the headliners on a reunion tour, and Vector was there as their opener, and was like the sci-fi metal night at whatever the hell the metal bar in Cudahy was.
Was it a bigger venue, or was it more of a tight?
No, it was real
small.
Venue.
Man, those are the best.
Might have been the
were the
metal
best
bar,
before COVID.
Metal Grill.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we miss. We always talk about how much we miss shows.
I was just talking about that today because they were saying something about it's going to be going on until like 2022 or something like that, and I was like, man, I miss going to concerts and music festivals and stuff. Like that was my one vacation a year, was to go to Rockfest and try to hit as many shows as I could around here. So
yeah. No, unfortunately, it is just. Just not something that's happening right now. But, there are, like we've been saying, though, too, there are, a lot of musicians that are trying to do online live streams and, like, trying to do, admissions for certain, like, live shows. You know, I've gone to a few of them, and you know, you get to be in the chat and everything. So if you got someone doing it, try it out. You know, it's a little awkward, but you know, it's the world we're
Yeah,
living in right now.
I think Metallica was doing that for a while. They were doing like Metallica Monday, where every week they do like a live performance and stream it, so everyone can watch it.
Dang,
I mean,
that's really cool.
winter and
Sorry.
black metal is best listened to at least 6 feet apart from everybody else in the room. So like,
That's true.
you
That's
just want to
true.
sit there and like some grim shit, and just be like,
Yeah,
in a really
yeah.
cold room.
Just
It's perfect,
everyone just absorbing the grimness of it.
Become
yeah.
part of the permafrost.
You should. I mean, I've always thought that they need to do a winter black metal set on the lakeshore in Madison, and just be like, "Yes, we're gonna set up on the frozen lake, and we're gonna play, and you're gonna freeze your fucking tits off." Like,
That would
that'd be awesome.
pretty freaking.
That would be
epic, I
very
gotta say.
metal.
That would be very
Actually.
Madison.
That
frozen
would be
death
very
fest.
metal.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so doable. Like someone should at least like do a music video on like the frozen lake during like the middle of winter. Like
Oh,
that
with,
has to
Frost
happen.
giants.
Bad.
Ah!
Yeah. So
Did you guys
doable.
ever like take hallucinogens and go on the lake during a snowstorm?
I've never actually.
No.
Oh, it's
I think
amazing.
it's-
Holy
That
shit.
sounds intense.
I think I have a fear of going on the lake even when it's frozen. Like I've never gone that far onto any lake that's frozen.
You know, it wasn't a bad. I mean, it's getting harder now, but like when I was a kid, I mean, when I was like in my teens, I had friends that had like ice huts
Oh yeah.
on like Lake Mendota.
Yeah, I
stuff
see
like
him. I
that.
see
You
him
know,
sometimes.
You go out, you hang out with them, they'd fish.
Yeah, I do still see
I
those.
drink.
You know, sometimes, but like, yeah, I don't know. I've just never tried it out, but maybe I should.
Well,
gotta
it's
know
getting
that-
harder now, like not in a good way, because it's
Well, yeah, it's because
Actually,
sometimes it
the
doesn't
ice is
freeze
thinner,
as
Technically,
long.
not harder at all.
Yes, very
Harder
yeah,
would be
so,
better.
thinner.
I meant the task is
Brittle.
getting harder.
Yeah,
not the,
yeah.
not the ice.
But before we get into Voivod killing technology, I was just going to ask you, Nate, a little bit about your Minecraft streaming and stuff. You stream too, right?
I don't really stream yet, but I'm going to start soon. I'm thinking about doing more. Once I'm also in school,
Okay.
so I'm gonna expand into streaming eventually. But right now, I mostly, excuse me. Right now, I just do videos. So a while ago, I was doing like hardcore Minecraft, which is where you like, if you die, you die. And then I kind of moved. I was trying a bunch of different things early on, and
Yeah.
now I'm on a server with some other people from around the world, actually, and also our
Nice.
mutual friend of ours, Dahlia, is also doing it.
Yeah, I just watched that episode before the podcast. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it
Thanks.
made me want to pick up a controller and play with you guys.
Well, we play in Java edition, so you would need a keyboard and mouse only. But I don't know if you would be able to play it on Mac either. But
Yeah, it's always a question.
Yeah.
I
always a
love hate Mac. It's sometimes makes me want to kill technology, if you know what I mean. Like it just I just want to
Harder
slam
X.
my keyboard into the screen. But yeah, are you going to? So you're doing Minecraft right now. Are you planning on doing other games, or do you have another game picked out yet? I'm kind of putting you
Well,
on the spot because I know
for
the
Twitch,
answer.
I was thinking. So I'm not sure when it's going to come out yet, but I'm kind of excited for the latest Oddworld game. I don't know if y'all heard of Abe's
Oddworld.
Odyssey. It's an older game, but
Like the one with
Yeah,
Basically,
I used to
it's
love
just-
that game.
the worm
yeah.
guy.
No, it's a side scroller. It's kind of it's hard to explain, but basically look it up.
Okay, yeah.
The new game is called Oddworld Soulstorm, and it's coming
Hmm.
out in either the end of this year or like the beginning of next year.
Cool.
It's gonna be It's gonna be a PS5 exclusive at first, and then it's going to go to PC and Xbox after that at some point, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't even know if it'll go to Xbox though. Actually,
Yeah. Who knows
But,
these days who owns what? But yeah, I'm actually going to be doing a Twitch stream of Fortnite next Tuesday. Do you have any suggestions of of what I'm getting myself into. I've never played Fortnite, and I've never streamed in front of people. But
Just know that you're going to be the battle royale kind of genre is basically you get parachuted into a random map, and so just think like you would in
do I
any
gotta
other
build
first
stuff?
person shooter.
Am I
like
supposed to build stuff, or is
you're
that
not
optional?
you don't have to build stuff. No,
Your goal is to be the last one standing.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
get
yeah.
prepared for a lot of 12-year-olds that are oddly good at shooting and
Okay,
creating
okay.
things at the same time.
Okay.
You mean the Halo problem?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
It's
not creating things, just shooting things. And it's like, how are you 8 years old, you little bastard?
I know.
Yep. They've been playing since they were in the womb.
You get 8-year-old kids talking about how they bang your mom, and then you got to headshot them to get justice.
Right. Yep. The Wild West of gaming. But yeah, no, it's gonna be. I'm not that great at video games. I'll be honest. I'm good at a few, but I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at any. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, precedent says that if you're a cool person and you Twitch stream stuff, you're going to get a lot of followers because it worked out really well for AOC, and I hope that it works out well for you too.
Yeah. Maybe I can get voted into Congress or something, guys.
Yeah,
Hey, there you go.
Via Twitch
but
stream.
instead of doing it after you're in Congress, do it to pave your run.
Yes,
Congress.
exactly.
Like, I have 200,000 Twitch followers, and they'll vote for me rapidly.
Exactly. This is the new power structure.
Man, Brad, those old guys in Congress got to start dying off eventually.
I don't know, man.
There's so many of them that have been there.
Sometimes
for
I wonder
40
if they're not cyborgs, like immortal cyborgs or something. You know what I mean? Like
immortal nuclear vampire, maybe.
Maybe. Speaking of which, Reis, do you want to actually explain that before we get into the meat of the album? Like, what is the like? You told me that Voïvod is a character, correct?
It is, and hang on a second here.
All right. Yeah. You got to get that going.
So, Voïvod.
Yes. Tell us the story.
Character created by the band Voïvod.
Tell us the story again.
But he is based on Bram Stoker's Dracula and a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction and Lord of the Rings and all sorts of stuff. So he's a character who starts out living in Morgoth, the land of eternal war, and he is an immortal vampire who survives the nuclear holocaust. And then later, throughout all of these albums they produced, he goes out into space and like a million things. At one point, he's like imprisoned in space for eternity, except he escapes, and all these crazy things. And so at first, he's this like brutal, like nihilistic character, but he gets like more and more introspective, and like his immortality goes from like I'm a blood-drenched vampire god to I am like a thinking being who will live forever and my perspective is infinite. And that's also the progression of the band's music, because they went from heavy thrash metal that used a synthesizer here and there or something like that to like
I feel like
trying to be progressive and do prog metal before it was cool, before it was like, I mean, any of the big prog bands, like they'll be like, oh my god, Voïvod, we listened to them and that's why we did it. Like
it almost
sounds
kind of
wondering about that too, because like they have 14 albums and they started in the 80s, and I was like, I looked at the last one was released in 2018. I was kind of curious to see what their music is like.
Still
now
going
compared to
2018.
back then.
Still real good.
Yeah.
But different, but good.
Were they still playing shows before the pandemic started? Do you know?
As of a couple of years ago, at least. Let me just Google this because I don't remember if they're technically active or not. But they do reunions regularly.
Yeah.
Still technically active, and they still technically have one album written or concepted that they have not produced that will finish Voïvod's story.
Oh, so they've actually said that there is going to be a like end cap to this character's story.
In theory, yeah.
Okay.
Probably when they're like, Rolling Stones age, and they're just like, well, we're gonna finish it now.
Yeah, I like it when I do like it when bands do that, because it's then you can kind of look at their whole discography and like go back and look at it like a whole, just one story. But yeah, especially if they're like, that's the point of their like music, is that it is a character and it is a story that's like continuing from track to or album to album.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Means we can do a lot of Voïvod, guys. I mean, if it's all the same story, I mean, we
Do
can
mean,
maybe-
14 episodes of Voïvod.
yeah.
Their second album is Roar.
And I think technically it's 7 albums of his story, and the rest are interspersed and technically inconsequential, but it still has a lot of the same feel too.
Kind of like Ender's Game and all the books with Ender, and then like all the other subsequent books, Ender's Shadow, and the characters around him.
Yeah, it's not all canon, but it's all there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I guess
I don't know
Ender
that
is
what
all
is.
canon,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know what
Yeah.
canon is in that universe.
Oh man, that universe. Let's not even go
but,
there. That's a whole
yeah.
other podcast.
Yeah, you wanna ruin a sci-fi series for yourself? Go look up some stuff about the author. But it's a great series nonetheless. He's just kind of a J.K. Rowling type character, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. So unpleasant, and don't really want to associate with.
Yeah,
them.
it's one of those artists you don't want to know, like the guy that makes Dilbert. You don't really want to know what's going on in Scott Adams' mind so much, because it's garbage.
Evie says hi.
Huh?
Sorry, Cole.
What'd you say?
I said Evie says hi.
Oh, it's Evie.
Hi,
That's Evie Metal. Evie Metal's always got to make an appearance on these episodes. I mean, it's her namesake. But yeah, you guys want to get into the first track of this album?
Do it.
It is the
Do it.
titular track right out the gate, Killing Technology. I'm gonna close you, Discord, if you don't shut up. Yep, it's gone.
Barking at you.
Is that you or me or who?
I believe that was me. I put it in streaming mode, but for some reason it didn't do anything. So anyway, yeah, that was Killing Technology, and I think I picked that track because I really liked those chirpy sound effects in the background. Kind of sound like dolphins, but like electronic space dolphins or something.
It's silly. I mean, it's one of the earliest uses of like electronic style sound effects in metal, and that's what I thought was so interesting about this song and this album is they're using effects that later on would define whole bands and whole like movements in metal, but at this point it was just like, yeah, we're doing this. Like we think it's cool to be like computerized voices that sound like digitalized, and I don't know.
Yeah, like it wasn't done a whole lot. Like there was like, what was it? Here and there you'd hear like the band every now and again had a like weird organ robot voice, and then ELO used it once or twice in the album we covered. But like, yeah, I like that. I like the level of production. Like it's lo-fi in a sense, but it's also recorded very well. If that makes any sense. Like you can hear everything stand out, even though it's like crunchy and a lot of sound at once. But yeah, this is like you were telling me that this world that Voivod lives in is like a state of constant war, essentially, and this album is definitely emblematic of that. Like it's start to finish. It's just kind of a dystopia type deal happening,
Yeah.
I found the song kind of interesting, especially for like the time zone that it came in, because like it's saying that we're connected and that it's just kind of in the start of the upbringing of technology, and like they're saying it's how do I explain it? If like where we are now, like how connected we are with technology, and like everybody's like stuck in their phone or on a computer or something, it's just like this is the growing killing technology.
Yeah. It was so like far from what we have now. Like I mean, you think back to '87, and like when they're talking about computers in '87, like they don't even know, that those types of things are gonna be in your pocket or whatever.
Right. Like the old teachers used to say, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket.
Yeah.
You
That was
do.
that was.
I don't have a calculator in my pocket. I have a phone that does internet and calculator and flashlight and everything else. So
Yeah.
If you want to look at an earlier weird exploration of vocoder in music, though, at another time,
Yeah.
especially listeners,
Yeah.
check out Computer Cowboy from the album Trans from Neil Young. He did this experimental
Computer
album in the early
Cowboy.
80s that's where he used like a very robotic voice in that song, especially.
You know,
That's what this reminded me of.
I bet that's why Bright Eyes did that one electronic album. It's probably like his nod to Neil Young. Because like he was mostly like, you know, kind of like folksy bluegrass stuff too. But he did just one album one time that was just full on electronic.
Who did?
Oh, Bright Eyes, I said.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Connor Oberst. Actually, they have a really good album out that they came out with recently. But yeah, this is far from Bright Eyes, what we're listening to now. You're
Sure.
muted, Nate. I think you're muted. Yeah, it kind of starts just the kind of in a paranoid almost rant throughout like all these things. That's one thing I kind of like about this album in general is like the way the lyrics kind of are almost disjointed from like thought to thought, and I like that it's not like verse chorus at all, you know?
Yeah, it's a progressive story the whole way through, kind of, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you might not like if you just closed your eyes and didn't look at the tracks as they pass, you might not know where the except for a few spots it's like really obvious, but like
yeah, it's pretty seamless throughout the whole thing.
It's like one kind of motion that really works together. Like all of these songs sound like they should be where they are and together. Although we will say, going up for the front here, we have chosen the 9-track version of this album. There was a vinyl release that had 7 tracks, but then the cassette and CD release had an extra track on each side. So like tracks 4 and tracks 9 in that context.
And most digital versions you'll find nowadays on Spotify, etc., are all going to be the full album, the full song list.
But
so this song,
yeah, you were telling me
this seems like it was inspired by Chernobyl, which was really only a couple of years in the past for them at that point. So, God, what year was Chernobyl? I'm blanking. 86. So it was a year before it was Chernobyl. So this whole song is kind of
and they were recording it in 86. So
yes,
yeah,
probably like literally happening, and they're watching it on TV while they were recording this album.
Yeah, actually, that really tracks for a lot of these songs.
Yeah,
honestly.
Nuclear vampires, man. I mean, what comes out of Chernobyl, huh?
Right? Yeah, this is like them, like kind of like theorizing and thinking about like, you know, what the possibilities are, what the consequences might be for Chernobyl, and like probably thinking about all the other nuclear places all over the world. You know, I'm sure there was a lot of anxiety around that.
Oh yeah.
And also the kind of theme of like feeling like a robot without purpose in society, which is like really, I mean, that's always kind of a theme in music, but like I feel like it really was in like the late 80s, early 90s and stuff. Once like, I don't know, like maybe it's when the pop machine grinded every good thing into a like a selling thing, something that made money. But yeah, it was a weird time, I think, probably for an artist, because like the 80s seemed like a very like poppy and very like bright and rich time, you know. So I
seemed
could
like
see
it was kind of there was like polar opposites. It was either like poppy or like really heavy.
Yeah,
and people like hated the heavy shit. They were like, "No, this is satanic, and we need to shut this shit down." You know?
Yeah. There was a bit, much bigger of a divide than there is now. Like it's pretty acceptable to listen to what the fuck ever, I guess, these days. But
Yeah, right. Nobody really cares, and like if you have a genre that you like, that's what you listen to. You know, no
Yeah,
one really
yeah.
cares. Like
Yeah.
at work, I'm like the metal guy. That's what I listen to all the time, and you know,
I
like
love
it's
being the metal guy. I'm usually the metal guy.
it's too heavy for a lot of people, and like they listen to like country or like, you know, pop rock or something like that. And
yeah.
I just think that that's funny because they come in the warehouse that I'm working in, they're like, what the hell are you listening to? And it's just like in the background.
Well, what's nice is like, I mean, nowadays you can look up on YouTube like people reacting to this genre. So you can kind of get like, you know, you get like a weird insight into all of the weird fandoms that people have in a way that you couldn't back in the day. But
So sometime I'm gonna make you guys listen to a Saint Vitus album called
okay.
"Born Too Late." They were like pretty early Black Sabbath worshiper guys, and
That's
and
almost
the
a genre
whole
on its own.
album. Well, the best, my most favorite song on the album, let's say, is about being born too late for the metal era or the hippie era, and they look like, you know, everybody thinks you look like a zombie with your long hair and your outdated clothes and et cetera, and it's so
yeah.
But it was an '86 album too, which is what made me think of it. Is same 2-year period this came out.
Yeah. Oh, and what? Before we move on to the next track, what were the other record labels that this came out on?
Oh God. Okay, so
Yeah. Because the
came out,
Wikipedia page says it came out on Noise Records, and I don't
she's
think.
correct, except
Yeah.
also it was re-released repeatedly on. Oh, let's see. So it was on Noise Records originally as a 12-inch vinyl, then was on Cobra Records, Combat Records,
Mm-hmm.
all within the same year. And then by '88, it had jumped to Phantom, and then went to MG, back to Noise, Valentine Sound. So any
So
small metal
how
industry,
many record labels did this
correct.
release on then?
There are many labels, but Noise Records has also always held a copyright to it. It looks like, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so Noise Records is the actual, so they're the ones that like ASCAP or whatever deal with, and
so.
okay.
They always get the percentage.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Because I was gonna say, someone needs to be doing the books on the plays probably, because it's on Spotify, so they're getting some minuscule amount of money for plays.
How much money are you guys getting from the podcasting, by the way?
Oh, we can talk about that off mic probably. We can talk about that off mic. It's not a great business strategy I have right now. Oh, but I am launching a Patreon called Flyover State Park, patreon.com/flyoverstatepark, which is the name I'm going to be changing the podcast company to. Just thought I'd drop that plug right in the middle of the podcast when no one's expecting it.
Now it's on Patreon. Do you have your clothes on or off during this podcast?
I guess we'll have fan submissions. We'll put out like maybe a bulletin. They can, maybe decide every week which one of us is shirtless. But
the album concept hour OnlyFans.
But that is gonna be a higher tier though. I will have to say that the shirtless is gonna be a higher tier. But we live in a
$2 hooker.
Yeah, no, that's going to be 10 to 15 at least.
20
okay.
a month.
Yeah. Yes, 20. You're right. You're right. I should stick up for myself more, Reis. 20. But Reis and Nate are actually going to be helping me out with the album concept hour side B on that, which we'll be talking more about when we have a few episodes in the books. But we're going to move on to track 2 of Killing Technology. This is Overreaction. Now this one really reminded me of like some like Black Flag or something.
Yeah.
like really
That's
like
a really
punk.
good. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
like
thinking.
that song. Like I mean, everyone knows the what's that? The Coca-Cola song. Like I just want a Coke, Mom. I just want or no Pepsi. I just wanted a Pepsi.
Well, that's suicidal tendencies.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I get those guys mixed up. But
There's
that
a
kind of
there's a scene
vocal is
here.
like a type of vocal from that
Yeah.
time, you know?
Yeah, that was same era very much. And like actually DRI, the Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, were also the same era. And it's interesting because like Voivod doesn't get quoted as a crossover thrash band because they were
Yeah.
never a punk band first, but the style they
Yeah.
played was very crossover thrash. Like
Yeah, maybe like at that point the punk influence was just unavoidable just because of how much it was taking off. You know what I mean?
oh, for sure.
Like cuz you hear, like for Mastodon for instance. It is, pulling from, inspirations from before, but you can tell that it came out alongside all of these like emo and hardcore and screamo bands kind of. You know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
yeah, maybe that is like a remnant of just being around it so much and having similar fans or something. But yeah, you can really, really hear that '80s punk like yell. There's a very specific time frame that yell really exists in my mind.
Oh, and I love it. That is like a sound that I go for, and I think that just
I
raw sound
do.
is something that I'm attracted to in this album.
Yeah,
Like,
it does make me miss that. Like, cause you only hear it in the context of like the punk rock.
oh,
But
so Old Dark Throne is one of my favorite
okay,
go-tos for that kind of song, and old Bathory. Like when you're talking like black metal Bathory before they started doing Viking metal,
okay.
there was a lot of that yeah that I can't even do because my voice doesn't go high like that. But
Yeah, it's a weird kind of yelling that I don't know how it works. Scott can probably do it, but
I make all kinds of weird noises.
yeah, but
I'm trying to convert one of my coworkers into a metalhead. He's an older guy, like in the 60s, and he listens to like bluegrass and like folk music.
You're trying to convert him into a
I'm slowly
metalhead,
converting him. I tried to get him to listen to some pirate metal the other day, and he didn't really like that so much. So that didn't work. But every morning when I greet him, I'm like, "Duh." And like he's like, you're gonna break your voice one of these days, and I always growl at him just to try to get him riled on it, but
that's hilarious.
it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Give him some Panopticon, man. Give him some crossover folky black metal.
Panopticon, the one you posted the other day. That is
got a banjo, man.
Yeah,
got a banjo.
There we go. He'll love it.
Yeah, we definitely got to cover some of that.
I'm slowly converting him. It's just going to take a while. I don't know. Maybe by the
that could take a minute. Yeah, that could.
You got to start drawing pentagrams on the bottom of his stuff so that he's just constantly holding a pentagram in his hands, and slowly it'll leach into his being. You don't actually have to do anything else.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's true. It's the magic of it. The 5
just
points.
Like etch one in the ceiling right above his chair, so that way it's always pouring onto him.
That's a good idea. That's actually a really good idea.
Like pick up his like coffee and just draw 666 on the bottom and set it back down.
Yep.
All the time.
Yeah, I agree with all. I agree with all of these things.
Satanism. It's
right. So we were. So when I was looking at the lyrics to this song, I had to do some research because they talk about the China syndrome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely had to look that one up.
And I had never heard of it before. Apparently, it's a movie too. It's a 1979 like thriller drama movie. But I looked into what it is, and apparently it refers to a reactor accident where an activity or reactivity becomes so supercritical that operators cannot control it. So kind of makes sense for the song. But I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. Just never heard of the China syndrome before.
And I also read that it was in the context of like, how the old thing was like, oh, if you dig far enough, you'll dig to China.
Yeah, right.
I think that the whole thing was like it burned all the way through the earth, and that's why it was the China syndrome.
Yeah, I saw something about that too.
Yeah, really weird reason to name it that, but you know, I remember that being more of a thing. People talking about China being at the opposite side of the world, no matter where you were, even if it didn't make sense.
Yeah, right. Always dig a hole straight through to China.
Yeah, that was in everything. It was in cartoons. It was in like movies.
Oh, Looney Tunes love doing that stuff.
Yeah. Real Looney Tunes move right there. But but in this, like, they're talking about it, like, more in the sense of like Chernobyl, because like we said, it's happening like as they're writing this.
Right.
And you know, just this is just kind of describing just a nuclear fallout in general, you know.
This is like the transition into the post-apocalyptic world that Voïvod lives in.
And the corporation covering it up and saying, "Don't be scared." You know, it's the engine's exploded, but it's just a technological risk. Like,
I like
it's a great line.
I really like the line. What was it? Feel the disease, the nuclearchy.
Yeah.
I like the word nuclearchy because it's just like it takes like, you know, the patriarchy, or not patriarchy, the oligarchy to the next level. You know what I mean? It's like, not only are you an oligarch, but you are also like in control of nuclear power.
So much power.
Too much.
Is that
power.
Mr. Burns from The Simpsons? Then he's a nuclearch then.
Yeah, yeah, actually, he might be the first nuclearch. Maybe this is about Springfield. Maybe that's where all of this takes place. Voivod's adventures.
I mean, Simpsons has been, you know, doing predicting the future for years. So
yeah, I mean, they're pretty much in every universe, and just you just don't realize it, you know.
Yeah, they're undercover time travelers.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Watchers in like Marvel. You know, they're just kind of, they see everything. They are, you know, omnipotent. Matt Groening is a Watcher, I guess is what I'm saying.
And they let Family Guy into their world.
they let Family Guy happen.
Some cover. They need somebody who's just clearly an idiot to like throw some noise out there.
Yes.
Well, like
the
best part of
scent.
that episode was like when they found the Springfield sign, and they're like, "Oh, go back here, guy. I think it's more of like a one-shot deal. Yeah, we're never coming back here, but hey, we're here, so let's enjoy the ride."
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is saying stuff like everyone kind of knows, like, you know, awaiting to suffocate, purchasing the program, vomiting the pollution of energy games. Like, it's just very much like, it's kind of just listing out, like, oh, this is gonna be fucked up. It sucks. We're lucky we'll die young.
We're lucky we'll die young. It's hard to endure to be a mutant. Like, I love it.
And I gotta say, like, coming from, you know, now with, you know, climate change, you know, having come a lot further since then, it's just like, man, you don't even know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we'll take nuclear power at this point. Just get rid of the fucking coal and all the shit you thought was going to be phased out like 40 years ago.
Oh, and I like, okay, so this ties into what I was just saying. So the next track is kind of about some of those, like, the Earth's reactions to, like, what we're doing to the environment. So it's called Tornado, and it's just it's a tornado, you know?
Real whirlwind of a hit.
Wow. What was that, you, Scott?
That was me.
Oh my God. Truly,
me all hyped.
Truly
and
frightening.
Like the whole time I was listening to this album, like my double bass legs were just like going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like they didn't stop the whole time, like flipping out.
Blast beats all over the place in this motherfucker.
Yes. Absu scream down, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Well, I do it every morning. Like I said, I do it because I do the deep growl, and then I do that growl at Doug, and he's always like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Wow. You know, you might be unintentionally like building up like muscles in your voice box that
Oh,
is
that's
perfect
hopefully
for
the
that.
goal. I mean,
Yeah, one day you can just join a metal band fully formed.
yeah, right. I'll just walk in there and that's all I'll talk. Hey guys, what's that?
never speaking
Freddie
your normal
Mercury of
voice.
metal. Like,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a very descriptive track, though. It's like cumulonimbus storms arrive, lightning flashes 100 miles around, electric collision course creates the elephant trunk. It's like,
You know, I like the clip that you picked for this because it really like that guitar music really like exemplifies a tornado of
Yeah.
sound. You know,
yeah, it definitely sounds like it's just like it's nonstop,
chaos.
like chaotic.
Feels like you're sitting outside, like watching the twister come at you.
Yeah,
You're
it's
sitting in
like
the chair with a cigarette. Come at me, Twister.
it's like a metal version of the Wizard of Oz scene.
Think you can make my life worse?
In fact, I wonder if you could just play this over that scene in the Wizard of Oz. I don't know.
I like that idea.
That sounds like a high idea.
That sounds like
Isn't there an
it does sound like a
album
high
that you can
idea.
do that with? You can play over
Yeah,
the
there's
Wizard of
supposedly
Oz?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, we should do that.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, I believe, also follows the pattern. Yeah, there's a lot of random ones. But yeah, no, I forgot what I was gonna say on this, but it's mostly just a lot of chaos, just a lot of fucking chaos.
I mean,
You-
it's like the nuclear bombs hit, and then this is like the weather
Shit's just
response.
swirling around.
Yeah. Oh, and then the next track is something that is this is one of the tracks that is not on the vinyl, but it is on the cassette and CD version. So this is Too Tired to Scream.
Too scared to scream.
Sorry, Too Scared to Scream. What the fuck?
I need a fix.
I love the way he says that.
That
I
sounds
need
very
a
punk.
fix.
It's very punk.
Yeah,
Sounds like he really, really needs a fix.
yeah, and they're just having fun, with these weird vocal patterns that he's using. Because this isn't like for anyone but him, right? Like,
So they are also French Canadian band, and that is another factor here as well.
oh
is that
yeah,
they're
that's right. We
actually
haven't mentioned that. Yeah, they are
native French
Canadian.
speakers. Although they're being in Quebec, I guess they mostly speak English as well, but with French accents or Canadian French accents.
Yeah.
I just find that interesting with bands how no matter where you're from, you can always sing in relatively good English.
Yeah, that is something that seems to go across a lot of barriers. I don't know if it's just because, we were one of the first to popularize music worldwide, or if it's just the colonization factor of the language, or if it's actually just sounds the best in song form and it's just easiest to sing. I really
right.
don't know what the case is.
Because there's
We should
like
do an
plenty
episode-
of bands that I didn't even know that they were from other countries until I like heard the singer talk. Like Avatar, it's this band from Sweden,
Yeah.
and like he sings in perfect English, but then when he talks, he's got like this hardcore Swedish accent, and you can barely understand what he's saying.
Yeah, Blue Suede, the song that was popular from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the Ooga Shaka, Ooga.
Ooga,
Yeah,
ooga,
that's
ooga,
that's a
I can't stop
Swedish
this
group.
feeling.
It's a Swedish group. And that's what it's Blue Swedes, not Blue Suede. And
Really?
it's a Swedish group. You wouldn't know it just listening to the song, because it sounds like it's we know it as an American radio hit. So like
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was really
I thought
surprised.
it was Blue Suede the
Yeah,
whole time.
that's what most people I think pronounce it as, but it's Blue Swedes. Yeah. Well,
Today
unless
I
they're
learned. English
unless it's a
language is
play
hard.
on, they're doing a play on words. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
English language is hard.
Call me out if I'm wrong on this, people.
are good at
I'm
English.
taking it on faith, Brad. I'm taking it on faith.
All right. I only speak truth. But oh yeah. Let's talk about some of these lyrics though. What's
Oh
going
man,
on with Voïvod?
so this guy's fleeing Morgoth, his land of eternal war,
Which
and
is Lord of the Rings.
That's a Lord of the Rings term, right?
not quite. It's
Oh, is that
I mean,
predate?
let's say effectively.
Okay. But does that predate Lord of the Rings then? Morgoth?
No, hell no. I mean, he's basically making a Lord of the Rings parallel in his own sci-fi universe, in theory.
Well, yeah, like we've run into that a few times. Well, in Murder of the Universe, there was a reference to the Balrog. That's from Lord of the Rings as well, but it's not a Lord of the Rings Balrog. You know,
Right.
he's just lifting it, and it's like, hey, that's cool idea. I'm going to put it in my little story. But yeah. But, what were you saying though, Reis? Before I interrupt you?
I feel like this whole song is the guy. He's fleeing his like land of eternal war, and is like suffering PTSD because they're talking about kind of a psychic breakdown as he's getting out, and he's paranoid, and refers to himself as a schizo, which is inappropriate, by the way. But
yes, not
uh,
PC.
his desire to like do violence, and he's constantly talking about like trying to do violence, but then he doesn't understand what's going on in the world around him. And
yeah, it's kind of like the violence that has been inflicted upon him. He's at the stage where he's like accepted it as part of himself. Like he's like running away, but he's also part of this weird messed up world as well. Yeah. But I was gonna say, do you guys want to do what are we drinking and then take a break? And Reis, I know you have to leave at some point, right?
I've got some time yet. It's because it's earlier here than it is there where you guys are.
Okay,
but,
good. We can take advantage of the time warp.
Yes.
So yeah,
He's
we'll
living in the past.
Let's do the time warp again.
and we'll so we'll go right into what are we drinking? All right, so this is what is Dave drinking. Dave is gone right now, but we are drinking. At least some of us are. Let's see. I'm just gonna go with what I see in the Zoom. So Nate, what are you sipping on tonight, Nate?
Earlier, I was having a pseudo sue, and then also a chocolate stout that I can't remember the exact brand of.
Okay.
Look at this. This is like the most generic chocolate stout can I've ever seen.
Love that.
It just says
Kirkland
chocolate
brand or
stout.
This is like beer. Yeah, it's like Kirkland or something. I
It
don't
literally says chocolate stout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, I had a
dirty
pseudo.
letter.
Before that, I had a pseudo sue from Goliath, Toppling Goliath, I think is the name of the.
Okay.
A great fucking beer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pseudo Sue.
It's got the T-Rex on the side. You've probably seen it at the liquor store. It's great.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah. The T-Rex Sue. Yeah, the one in.
Yeah.
It was in Rockford for a minute.
Oh,
Yeah. What about you, Scott? What have you been sipping on tonight?
Oh, not too much. Drank a little bit too much last night, so I'm just taking her easy with some dew tonight.
That's fair. Yeah,
Keeping you awake.
Yeah,
keeping me rolling.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? I've heard some stupid apocryphal thing that Mountain Dew was created to replace moonshine in the South. Anybody know if that's accurate at all? I mean, I've heard
Okay, no. What it is Mountain Dew was a word for moonshine.
Okay.
Oh.
Because like that's Mountain Dew. When you see old country song, like if you ever pay attention to like old hee-haw skits and old country songs, when they mention Mountain Dew, that's moonshine. That's
I mean, it makes sense,
it's
They
whatever.
hide up
You know,
in the
that-
hills and make their moonshine.
I don't know when the creators of Mountain Dew decided to name Mountain Dew and for what purpose, but originally Mountain Dew was.
Mountain Dew was kind of like candy cigarettes. Was that what we're to understand? Because
yeah,
it would be.
You're saying Mountain Dew is like a candy cig, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like so you could have your candy cigarettes and drink your Mountain Dew while your parents were smoking cigarettes and drinking Mountain Dew.
Exactly. That's about the same concept. Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume that is the reasoning behind it because that sounds fun.
I mean, that's one of it.
No.
I mean, they had to. It had like.
Yeah, that transition
maybe
happened
Mountain
at
Dew
some
had
point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coca-Cola had cocaine in it.
That's true.
Anymore.
That's true.
That's
You know.
That came from it came from something.
You'd think for 2020 they could at least give us that back,
I know. Well, they could maybe get it back in Oregon now. So who knows?
Only decriminalized.
Yes.
not be-
Everybody would be power
Yeah.
cleaning their house and
Yeah.
fucking running around, freaking
Yeah.
out.
I like there was a meme I saw that was like the waiter is like, "Oh, here's your Coke," and it's like, would you like some Coke? And she's like, "Yeah, and I'll also have a drink," because I can get that
You
now.
got a straw for me?
Right? Straws are gonna come back.
Oh, I take a straw with the drink too.
But what about you, John? What have you been sipping on tonight?
Well, you got your basic bitch over here sipping on the Ice House Edge.
Ice House Edge.
It was cheap,
It's crisp.
$2.99.
It's clean.
$2.99.
You know what you're getting.
Stores for a 4-pack.
It's reliable. And it does the
Most
trick.
people will screw you up.
Drink Ice House Edge.
That's all you need.
We should make an ad for Ice House Edge.
Man, I'm telling you, dude. All we need is for companies to catch on to us. Half the shit we're doing is free right
Just
now. We
one
can
beer
start to get
company.
paid
Send us a
eventually.
bunch of beer and we will drink it. I'm promising you right
Listen,
now. If you
I'm
send
telling
me
you.
beer, I will drink it if it's not poison. Well,
now,
other than
hold on.
it is
here.
literally poison, but I mean
all drink is poison.
Asylum or something.
But we like our poison like we like our liquor. Stuff that doesn't kill me right away.
yeah, yes.
Slowly,
If
slow
it makes
death.
me feel good
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Hey. Dun, 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 dun.
Ice House Edge. What about you, Reese? What have you been sipping on tonight? I know you just got.
I'm drinking
back from work.
Kentucky Cold Snacks.
Oh, I love
Mm.
Kentucky cold snacks.
Is that
They
wait,
are,
Kentucky?
It's basically PBR, and it is the unofficial beer of Montana.
Oh,
Uh,
unofficial beer of Montana.
Did you hear weed just got legalized in Montana?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Good
A friend of mine
Yeah.
lives out there. She just said it was on their last ballot.
Yeah.
It just got
Montana's got
certified.
weed, Oregon's got cocaine, and we ain't got shit in Wisconsin. Come on,
Wisconsin's
We're
people.
surrounded by legal states.
Legalize.
Bullshit.
You got Republicans in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's like Republicans smoke weed. I don't understand.
Everybody smokes.
Everybody
Dude,
smokes
so
weed.
many of them do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
literally.
Come on, people. I'm just saying,
if
if you smoke weed, you gotta come out and make this stuff happen in Wisconsin, guys.
get rid of that issue so we can get back to the real issues.
Yeah, man. What about you? Oh, is that the only one you've been drinking tonight so far?
Yeah, actually, I'm on number 2 of those.
Nice, nice.
And then I had several shots of tequila and whiskey. Fortaleza tequila and
Ooh, nice.
Fortaleza, which is like the strength.
Mm-hmm.
And then shit, I actually don't remember the whiskey because I was working and I
That's
got to
good
work
whiskey.
at a place my buddy runs, and he's like, "Well, you better try this and this and this." And so,
Yeah, yeah.
on a good day,
Nice, nice, nice. As for me, I've been. I started off with a rum and coke with my Jack Daniels. It's like way too strong. 'Cause I'm trying to get rid of that. And then I have. The Fuck COVID by Ale Asylum.
ooh, which one?
This
hazy-
one is the hazy pale ale. There's
Oh, that is
also
good,
there's
man.
also a lager, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.0 or something.
yeah, but I love Ale Asylum. I usually get Hopalicious, so this is like very similar. So I'm enjoying it. And
I mean, if you need a sponsor, those are probably your guys.
oh shit, dude, I never even thought about that.
They're-
Love me
they
some
don't.
Ale Asylum.
They did their last before I moved, their bar special was it was Catchy Next Tuesday was their Tuesday bar special. And at the same time as launching something called Catchy Next Tuesday, they also eliminated their entire kids menu and said that kids cannot order cheese only pizzas. All pizzas must have toppings. So
That's bull.
they're just like, well, they'll make an
Cheese
exception. for adults.
pizzas.
They're just like, get the fucking kids out of the tap room. Let's just, get drunk and be adults here.
I see. Interesting. Yeah. So they eliminated the cheese pizza in a way to address that.
Apparently,
There's a petty way to do everything,
Yeah. Well, you just drop a couple of sausages on there. You got some cheese on there.
Although
I hate how people think
you can't bring your kids, but we're not making goddamn food for your little kids in our restaurant that's a brew pub, which I feel.
I do kind of hate when people take their kids to the restaurant or the bar. Well, not the restaurant. The restaurant's different. If it's a restaurant, cool. But if it's a bar, like it.
Well,
get them
bar during
Okay.
bar during the
Asylum?
daytime
Hey,
is like
hey,
okay.
Can I?
But
Can
like
I
at night,
have to. I iterate an understanding to you that you live in you live in Wisconsin, correct?
yeah, we all yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Reis used
I
to.
have so many relatives. Just man, they grew up in bars.
Hey man,
Parents sat at the bar and gave your kids quarters to go play games while you got to sit at the bar for 3 hours.
but it's that kind of bar. That's the difference. Is like, I mean, that's the kind of bar that's got a Pac-Man machine in back and a pool table that the kids, it's all broken and the kids play at that fucking pool table.
Yeah.
It's not like a nice joint where it's like, no, I want to be an adult. If the thing is, if you're gonna bring your kids to a nice bar, then every fucking parent that gets handed in there or non-parent that gets handed in there should get handed a beaten stick that they can just whip the kids with and they go by. Get the fuck away from me, little kid! Like, fuck away.
I think there's going to be an
Let me
unpopular
drink in peace.
opinion, but yeah, no, I think the country is probably a little different though. Because I have been in the situation where when I went to the church in the bar, there was people that brought their kids. There was a kid baptized at the bar, but I think when it gets like to a certain hour of the night, I think that's when kids should not be around the bar. You know what I mean? Like past like 9
Hour of
p.m.
the night, most kids should be in bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like they shouldn't be in the bar when the people are getting the most trashed because that will kind of undermine their like
That undermines the
trust in
system,
adults.
I mean, I respect the hell out of the fact that in Wisconsin you can still sit your kid down at the bar and buy him a glass of whiskey.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
very
That's something
true.
we can do here. Yeah, I can't wait till
The
I can
years between
buy
18
my kid
and
a beer.
21 are the worst for any kid in Wisconsin.
That's true.
Yeah. It is a problem. I mean, we're making light, but
it was
Wisconsin's
born
got
out of our own
a specific.
stubbornness.
Look,
It took Reagan to be like, "I'll cut off your road funding" before we actually raised the drinking age to 21.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of problems from that when there was different drinking ages. Yeah, there was a lot of car accidents.
We held out for so long.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the country, we held out. Now our kids deserve to drink at 18. I'm not going to tell my kid he can't drink at 18.
Yeah, it's also really been hurting us.
If you get married, you can drink from 18 to 21 if your spouse is older and allows you.
That's so dumb.
Huh? Interesting.
But it was I get why it's a Wisconsin law. It was a way around it.
Yeah.
Marry someone who's 21 and you can drink for 3 days.
Everyone outside of Wisconsin is just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
What are these raging alcoholics talking about?
We are all raging alcoholics compared to the rest of you,
It's cultural.
And by the way, here's to Dave. Cheers
to Dave.
Cheers to what is Dave's drinking?
Yes. I hope
And
he's
a
feeling
beautiful
better.
Conversation about Wisconsin alcohol.
Yeah. This has been a good what is Dave drinking? So cheers to Dave. All right. Well, we're going to take that break, and then we will get right back into
That's great.
Voivod.
It's like a
And we
race.
have 5 tracks left on this album. So we will get back with the rest of this dystopian nightmare.
Hey everyone, this is Grant Summerlin, and you're listening to the Album Concept Hour.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Album Concept Hour. We are on the second half of the podcast. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, and we have co-hosts Virtual John and Virtual Scott. What's up, guys? And we also have Virtual Nate and Virtual Reese. What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Was
And yeah, as you know,
Where's
we
the
are
energy, Nate? Come on.
we are.
Got cats. His energy is being shared.
That's true. Yeah, the cat has boundless energy, and he's absorbing it. But yeah, we are covering Voivod's Killing Technology that came out in 1987. And we are about to get on to track 5, or track 4 if you're listening to it on the vinyl. And this is, oh yeah, I like this one, Forgotten in Space. That one had a solid ending. But yeah, I want to mention Clutch, though, when we're talking about this song, just because, like, I really see a lot of connections between, like, Clutch, I think almost assuredly listened to this band and liked them, because, like, their album, sorry, it's not, oh yeah, that's right, it's self-titled, but it's got Space Grass in it. There is a lot of, like, you know, weird thrashy stuff with, like, space, like going off into space, and, like, there's a prison planet that he goes to at some point, which is also something talked about in some Voivod. I think some of this album mentions that. I think they mentioned it in the song, maybe even. But yeah, I just what were you calling it earlier? You were kind of, I think, trying to put a word to that kind of, like, space theme in metal, sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, you
It
can't
should
call
have
sci-fi metal a
it should have
subgenre, but sci-fi metal is a theme that you see all the time. Like science
yeah,
fiction
especially
metal
in
is
metal.
a big thing.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, it's some of my favorite metal is when they go into those kinds of things. Like, I just love just thinking about space and, like, just weird like in microscopic stuff, maybe even that's weird. You know, I like that kind of expansive perspective, I guess. Because just space, there's just, you know, limitless possibilities with where you could go with that. You know,
Never-ending void.
But in this
Well,
one, I
that's kind
think,
of the whole point of space and in our mind, you know, like with
yeah,
what's out there. Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows, man?
yeah.
One thing I've
Twilight
been
Zone.
appreciating about this album is like the lyrics are very descriptive. Like it helps you paint a picture of like what's going on, and like
That's true. You don't
like,
really
just
have
reading
to.
through the lyrics. Like, you know, like some songs, like I know that I feel like their whole purpose is to not make sense. You know, like some bands do that.
Yeah,
And like there's some bands where it's like like the concept, you know, they tell the story and it's like very descriptive, and like every song that I've read the lyrics to, like I can imagine it and I feel like I'm living the song, you know.
yeah. Like, you don't have to really infer a whole lot, because it's like it's kind of laid out. It's like a short story almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing interpretive here. This is like comic book. Like, let's write it out with explosions and speech bubbles and stuff and yell it at you.
Yeah, and it like, you know, just an example, like the jail ship is flying high from the ground to out of sight they pay their crimes locked inside, where they go the judge knows. You know, so they're setting up they're also continuing to set up this dystopia, But yeah, I mean, they're just telling you what is literally happening to our maybe our main character or the people in this I guess society right now.
All the people being sent off to the jail planet.
Yeah, yeah. Which is another common theme in a lot of these sci-fi metal songs. Is it seems like everyone eventually gets to a space prison of some kind.
Can you imagine like a whole planet that's a prison?
Oh my god.
Like,
Be
where do
awful.
the workers live?
They are
Probably
the
in the prison.
workers. They are the
They're
workers, Scott.
slaves in the prison.
That's who runs the prison. It's like Rick and Morty, like,
It's
or
just
you have
like
that
real
Rick and
life.
Morty, like old cybernetic jail.
Yeah.
You get put in a little spot and then.
Slavery
was,
slavery with extra steps.
Pretty much.
What are you saying, Reis?
That sounds like slavery with extra steps. Man, Rick and Morty's so real. God damn.
So good.
What were you saying,
I
Reis?
bought a Rick and Morty hat.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, it's got the portal on it, and it's got Rick's arm sticking out of it, flicking some people off.
Classic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I still haven't seen most of season 3 yet because I haven't paid for it. But it'll be free at some.
I have it.
Some point.
I have it.
Do you ever see the dragon episode?
Yes. Slut.
So is Rick and Morty going to launch its next season as like, I don't know, a Patreon?
Listen, Rick and Morty still needs to
Right.
answer the question of evil Morty. I need to know. So he's leader of the Citadel of Ricks now. What's gonna
But
happen?
he also is
I
the
have
one
to
who
know.
planned the Morty torture device in season 1. That was also
Yeah.
evil Morty.
I understand.
More on the next Rick and Morty podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will. Maybe we'll get to it in Travelers or something.
I was going to throw in there the prison planet concept and like the space
yeah.
prison thing. One of the earlier, I would never say the earliest, one of the earlier sci-fi iterations of that was on Dune, where, and this is really present in my mind because I just watched the old Dune movie with what's his face from Twin Peaks and everything.
And there's that
Tom
trailer out.
McLaughlin.
Yep.
But the Sardaukar, they're like extreme, the Emperor's special troops they're all from the prison planet in the book. And the prison planet is this incredibly harsh planet where everybody just kills each other all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's how these guys are so badass, because they're all lifelong prisoners turned into like a killing machine.
Essentially turned into an apex predator by the prison
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, and I guess this, like, I don't know. The song's not going the same direction, but it's
Yeah. Well, and
abandoning you in space forever in a chamber full of things that'll freeze you if you go too far away. Like,
yeah, Alien 3 has a prison planet
yeah,
that Ridley ends up on, which is only men on that prison planet.
I don't know how I feel about Alien 3 overall.
It was
not trying to
strange.
knock Ridley as a character or anything.
It was a weird one. Not as weird as 4, but still weird. It definitely wasn't like Aliens. But yeah, they I think is he going to space and then coming back next track? Is this okay? I guess my question is this supposed to happen in chronological order, do you know, or is this like kind of just like each track is like a new story in general?
I would say it's not chronological order, but it is supposed to be an album-based progression, and that's the bigger kicker.
Yeah.
So this album has a place,
Yeah.
but it's a set of his experiences. As far as I would read it, and I've actually been digging really hard trying to find a better description of the Voïvod character and the backstory they wrote for him. And this is the part that's getting me is I actually don't have any of this on vinyl right now, because I'm guessing their liner notes have some cool shit in there, but I don't know.
Marvel should just pick up Voïvod as a story and make like a comic of the whole run.
That Dark Horse, man.
No,
Horse
you're right. Dark Horse. Dark Horse
Yeah.
is way better for that. I mean, I love Marvel, but it's not as gritty as it should be for Voïvod.
I mean, Marvel can do. I'm not trying to say Marvel can't do pretty. And if you want to dig into
Marvel can do
Well, you
pretty.
know,
Marvel's
they can
done
totally
some
do
pretty
pretty.
stuff. You ever seen the
Speaking
stuff on the Century?
speaking of
I
Marvel
That's
though,
that's a good mini storyline.
speaking of Marvel though,
doesn't go as dark and violent as Dark Horse and some other comics brands do.
That one I'll give you. That's true.
yeah,
That's
they're
my kicker.
yeah. There's
Sandman was
various darkness. Sandman was I don't think it was Dark Horse, but it was
No, I'm
a
blanking on it. It was one of the
similar
smaller
thing. Yeah. Well, apparently Sandman was DC Comics. Didn't think they had it in them. Anyway, I was gonna say, speaking of Marvel, though, this next song has a character that is experimented on with radiation, much like a Marvel character. Transition. This one kind of reminded me a little bit of like Iron Maiden, a little bit for some reason. I don't know why, but
I think it's the
definitely feel
guitar
that.
style on that song, like the way they're doing the. I don't know guitar terms.
yeah,
The way they play that, it reminds me of their progression sometimes.
maybe that's probably it. Yeah, it seems like more like a rock lick rather than a thrash lick, maybe. But
Iron Maiden. Also, if you ever want like a deep dive for a whole fucking day, especially if you're on a long road trip, start album 1 Iron Maiden and go all the way through. Don't stop, and you won't be upset about it. Like you really won't. It's all good. I don't think they've ever written a bad album.
well, there was 10 and there was 11, which was weird.
They do weird, but they don't do bad. I don't think they ever made a bad album. I will stand by that statement.
Okay. I think that I have I am recorded saying that 11 is bad. So I will have to stick with stick with my previous
have to delete
statement.
that recording real quick.
I really I don't know. It had the other new singer guy cuz 10 and 11 had the other guy, and 10 was all right. I liked 10 a lot. But 11 I just felt like really just didn't feel like an Iron Maiden album to me as much. But then I think after that's Brave New World, and they get right back into the groove. So, but it was that like period with the other singer for 2 albums, right? But yeah, this song though reminded me a little bit of D-Louse and the Comatorium a little bit in the sense it's got that evil overseers experimenting on the main character to gain his secrets or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of gruesome.
Yeah.
What kind of dynamic is this setup?
I don't even know what they're getting out of them. Like
'Cause
they're
I
not
look at these
even like
lyrics and
By the sounds of it, they're taking people that are seemingly healthy and like harvesting their organs and like giving them electroshock therapy and just beating them up.
Yeah,
Pretty much
just-
to
it's
see what
just-
they can stand.
just all seems so malicious. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Very much
it's
so.
called ravenous medicine too, it's like
And like when I was reading the lyrics there where it says feel the scalpel they cut you with, it just like reminded me of those horror stories you hear when like the pain meds wear off or the synesthesia or whatever wears
or
off.
back in the
Oh,
day
no.
when psychotic medicine was electric shock therapy type stuff.
Oh yeah.
mm-hmm.
Cutting into your brain.
But I've
Yeah.
heard
What was
like
wrong
horror
with you?
stories of people where they like half wake up during surgery and they can
Uh-huh.
feel their body being like cut open and like
Yeah.
being poked from the inside and like they can't move or scream or do anything.
Yes, they would be able to.
This is
Oh,
like
man.
this is like all of the horror stories in a hospital like combined. You know what I mean?
You can
Like-
watch.
Yeah, if you ever want to be really disturbed for like a solid, as long as you can handle reading, look up old lobotomy stories.
Oh
Like,
no. Yeah, I know.
It's a dark, downward path
Yeah.
that you're gonna go
Uh,
on because it was
listen,
like,
Downward spiral.
like they
A la
If you're
9
ever
Inch
gonna-
Nails.
If you're ever gonna open me up, just pump me full of drugs.
That's
Jesus,
fair point.
mercy on Christ.
Oh,
I
Nate's
mean,
getting
you don't have to.
I
You don't
don't
have to
care.
cut me open to pump me
I
full of
don't
drugs.
want it. Hey, you know what? It might happen at some point. We live in a society where that stuff happens. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is, if you're going to cut me open for any reason, pump me
I
full
will,
of
you know, I
drugs.
will
don't
let you
wanna
know
feel it.
before I cut you open. All right, John? I promise you that. I will
I
let you
think in the
know.
next episode we're gonna just perform surgery on John.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. We're going to have to.
Come on,
We need
can
to
see it.
practice.
You get a mechanical
So,
No,
surgical
you
arm,
gotta,
I can
I
throw it
want to
in.
be numb.
okay.
Even
All
if
right.
I
Comfortably
wake
numb?
up, I don't want to feel it. But I
Comfortably
don't
numb.
care.
Okay. I get it. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
guys ever watch Cowboy Bebop when they have that episode where the computer, the guy is like controlling a computer and is like trying to assimilate people into it, but he's actually not, and he's actually, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think.
really fucked up, trippy episode.
I don't think I fully. I know what episode you're talking about, but I don't think I fully understood it when I watched it.
It's like some guy tries to
yeah.
upload his consciousness, except he
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
isn't. He just made this story up so that he can try and exploit people,
Yeah.
kind of. But
Yeah.
there's more realness to it.
There's always some weird realness going on in Cowboy Bebop.
That reminded me of that movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis.
Surrogates.
I never saw that.
That one's pretty good.
I
It's
do
like
Bruce Willis.
people like they don't go out in the world anymore. They have like these surrogate machines that they plug themselves into, and it like uploads your consciousness into like a surrogate, and you like walk around, and that's how you live. But he like realizes that everyone's like this now, and he's like trying to break away from it.
They're actually
It kind of feels like it's ripping off Ghost in the Shell a bit, just hearing that concept. But I don't mean to knock the movie because I haven't seen the movie.
they're actually launching that program in 2021, guys, because it's going to be a while till the vaccine's distributed. So I think Japan was saying that they're just going to throw a bunch of robots our way. So we'll be able to go out,
Maybe they'll
hang out with
unleash
each
that
other.
Giant, what was that robot they were making?
The Gundam.
Yeah, they'll unleash the giant Gundam on us.
Oh man,
the bulldozer robot.
What?
Nothing.
Did you say
Nothing.
dildozer?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you
Unleash
said.
the dildozer.
It's the greatest Cards Against Humanity card. But the Gundam thing I always thought was really, really funny that they actually are making a life-size Gundam.
I think
check that
there
out.
Several now, like they've been messing with mobile suits in Japan just for fun.
I think
your cat
there's
just fell over.
Just for fun.
I think there's just the one that's like the life size and can like move its like limbs. Like I believe
So I
there's
guess
just one of those.
Creating real life Megazords here, people.
Yeah.
They made
let this
chicken
happen.
walkers like from Star Wars. I know they tried that, like the.
Oh yeah, I always thought that was kind of impractical, but I mean.
Yeah, well, and somebody was just like, dude, you could just like shoot out all the bulletproof glass that lets the person see, and then they're blind and they just stand there 20 feet above you. Great, like.
Yeah, I never really understood some of the Imperial's tools in that series getting
just
crushed
assume
on
that
by the
casuals were
Ewoks. Like they shouldn't have got wrecked on by the Ewoks, man. They're cold-blooded killers. But that's neither here nor there.
Unless the Ewoks are an apex predator and they're actually at the top of the food chain on their whole planet and they're incredibly vicious.
Holy shit! You don't really see other creatures on that planet, do you?
There are no other creatures on that
Oh
planet.
my
God.
God, Reis, you
I
might
think
be
I'm
onto
just gonna
something.
I'm gonna become a hermit and turn myself into a Tusken Raider.
Oh, dude, have you seen new Mandalorian episodes, dude?
I haven't.
Season 3
I gotta resubscribe to Disney
or season
Plus,
2,
so-
man. No. Just find a friend that's got the password or something,
Catch
man.
up. I'll catch up. I'm so far. I'm still in season 1 because I started watching with Katie, and Katie's not.
It's
been
about to
active on
get
catching up.
it's about to get real nerdy up in the Mandalorian. I'm just telling you that.
I got a friend who's going to let me watch. I think we're going to start watching The Mandalorian on his Disney
Nice.
Plus. So.
Nice. Well, I won't ruin anything for you, but I'm really enjoying season 2 so far. This next track, I'm just gonna go on to the next one, is Order of the Blackguards. All right, Order of of the Blackguards. So this is like, I feel like this is kind of like a revolutionary, like end of an empire kind of moment. Do you agree, Reis?
I don't. This is one of those songs like I've listened to and read the lyrics enough times, and I'm just like I don't know if I read it that way or the total opposite way, and I really
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it might be a little of both because it seems like, it seems like, it's almost like a call to arms, but it's also like an erasure of like, books and knowledge. You know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking that it was kind of like it's like a mind control thing because it sounds like they're like burning books and
Yeah.
like burning information, and it says the
Well-
mission will continue throughout time, the manipulation of all fragile minds.
I'm thinking of the next track actually. This is not an exercise; it's more of a call to arms type of thing. This is more just a closing off people's ability to. It's like a Fahrenheit 451 kind of moment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Where
but it's
you're-
also like, is the church that they're referring to the controlling thing that's been torturing this guy and running him into a space prison and everything else? Like, I
Yeah,
can't-
that's true. Like, I don't know how that really connects.
Yeah, I like how they call the church an empire.
yeah.
yeah,
That's really nice to just have that out in the open.
yeah,
The church
yeah.
is kind of like
The no way direction. Yeah.
an unclaimed empire over
Mhm.
millions of people.
Yeah.
We
It
all
seems
live
like-
in different parts of the world.
Well, it seems like in
We'll all
this
come to the call
world,
of Jesus.
in
It
this
is.
world,
It is claimed Cyber Lizard Jesus is somewhere up there, and he's waiting for you.
and he's.
Raptor Jesus.
Is he trying to
I don't
eat
believe in
you?
raptor Jesus, but I believe Jesus is coming back.
Is he trying to eat you though in the afterlife? Is
Yeah,
that how
Mecca.
that?
No,
In Mecca, I'm probably down.
no, Jesus is just going to kill everybody when he comes back.
Oh
Raptor
man,
Jesus.
that's
There's
not
no
cool,
angels.
Jesus.
You just get up there to feed him.
Okay.
He tried to be nice the first time.
He's got the ultimate Gundam. We can't beat him.
Oh no. That's
You
why
know,
we're
I
creating one on
did. I
Earth.
did read that Jesus was coming back in a Gundam. So,
I believe he's going to come back in something like the Dragon Zord.
Oh yeah,
rising
Dragon
out
Ball.
of the ocean.
Like someone will be like, "Tur, tur, tur, diddler," and then like Jesus
Exactly.
will show up in a
And then the
montage.
Dragon Zord's going to come out, and it's going to merge with the other three.
It's gonna merge with.
dinosaurs.
It's gonna merge
It's
with
gonna
like
become the
Buddha,
Emperor Zord.
Buddha, and
And then it will kill
Allah,
us all.
and like all the other gods are gonna come together and make like the Megazord of all the different
Exactly.
Hell
And
yeah.
then we're all going to die.
and then we're all fucked.
Unless you submit to Jesus.
Well, the Jesus
Some creepy
Buddha
organization just like, this is
hybrid
the end
thing.
point of humanity. This is what we are here for, and they're just screaming the entire time, encouraging it.
Yeah. That is kind of what this song feels like, isn't it? That's kind of what's happening. It's just a de-evolution of society, and these blackguards are now running shit. They're kind of like an SS type of deal.
A little bit.
Yeah. They don't want people thinking, but I'm gonna move on to this next track though, so we can. I feel like they kind of both work together. These two tracks a little bit. Like one's kind of like the oppression of everyone, and then this one's kind of like the actual fall of civilization. Or at least for this album, because like that's the thing. This is just one album in the grander scheme of this Voïvod thing. So like this is just another world gone awry and destroyed, I guess. So this next song is called This Is Not an Excuse. Or This Is Not an Exercise. Now I feel like this one's almost like actually talking to you as like in less of a like metaphorical sense.
Yeah.
This feels
I
like
don't-
it almost does feel like a real call to arms to like challenge the powers that be.
Well, it says right first like couple lines of the song here. Don't adjust your brain. It's real. Woken up by a lot of noise in this morning. The day
Yeah.
begins by the fear.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty real. For
Yeah.
the first like 4 lines of the song.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And it just kind of it devolves into it becomes like smashed up cars, traffic, people plunge into the TV set, which is another thing like that. You know, that goes back to that kind of being like robotic and not having much of a personality. But yeah, like the society seems to be collapsing, burning, destroying, pulverizing. They can't take the time to realize. Talking, screaming, protesting, all that time spent. Let's start this bad surprise. So it's like,
Revolution.
yeah, I think that it's like this is like them kind of coming to terms with the fact that they are in a fucked up like dystopian police state thing, and you know their Library of Alexandria essentially has been burned in the last song, so like there's like nothing left for them to like hold on to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
The
the
ending lines too. They're fantastic. Like dehumanization and the lost cause. What's the future? It's up to me. No one's gonna say that's a crime. Who's gonna say there is not too much time?
yeah
Like,
and
like revolution now. It's happening. Realize it and stare it in the face. Kind of like.
Yeah, it's definitely because
Not an exercise anymore. You got to get up and fight now.
yeah, because there's so much at stake. Like, I mean, he's described throughout the album all the things that are at stake, by describing just how like horrible it is, just in general. The torture, the like, using people for their organs, the sending people to prison planets, the
Jesus.
yeah, it seems like there's a lot of horrible stuff happening in this world, and that's all
Burning,
before.
destroying, pulverizing.
Yeah, and that's all before this track. You know what I mean? If it is chronological order, then like this is like them finally reacting to all of the horrible shit and rising up. Which will still be like not, like that's the thing. Like when civilizations fall, like it, often falls for, a reason, which is usually like people are being oppressed and they get pissed off about that. And then it takes a while for civilization to take hold again,
Hey,
and to grow back
it's
into
like my
communities and stuff. So
it's like my friend Nick says. Every time the rich try to take too much, there's always a gallows somewhere in history for those kinds of people.
yep, over and over again.
It doesn't always happen right away, but when it happens, those
Yeah,
it happens.
yeah. And yeah, I think that is what this, at least this world. I'm thinking of it as like this is one world, and like I think that's what's happening here. Is like they're about to, topple the empire that they're oppressed by, but with it comes, danger and, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And I think this next song, "Cockroaches," is kind of maybe getting into that. But it is this is one that wasn't included on the vinyl, but it is in the cassette and tape. So here's that.
There's only one solution. Indeed, one by one.
Let me find that lyric.
Sounds like the end of this album.
Yeah,
is,
that's the
kind
the
of
end
a conversion into robots like taking over and like ruling the world.
Yeah, it does seem like it doesn't go well for the people that have risen up in the last track.
Yeah, because it says tomorrow they're going to lead. Machines keep running.
And they're talking in this song about both machines, and then it also sounds like the mutated nuclear refugees coming out of their nuclear war are like streaming in and eating people.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you got robots and zombies in this planet.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
let's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah.
Sounds like they're talking about our world today.
Yeah.
Robots and zombies. It sounds
Yeah,
about
pretty
right. Yeah.
Heading towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like a monster, mechanical creatures. Fire is their fear, but you must burn the whole city. So, I feel like this is just very much at this point maybe the Terminator scenario it's evolved into. Like before they send John Connor back, which never actually fixes anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Continuously
this is just the war of the machines, and the machines just win, and they're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and it's like they're literally caught in a time loop, is what it seems in
I
that
think
series.
the problem here is that Voivod never
whole
said get to the
Groundhog Day.
chopper.
That's true. Voivod didn't include any Schwarzenegger lines.
If he would have said get to the chopper and I need a weapon, then it would have been
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. But this ends on a hard note, you know. But I think that this is like, yeah, they're responding to the uprising, and I don't know if it ends well for the robots or not, but like I think the fact
It
that it's
ends
called
bad for
cockroaches, I think the fact that it says cockroaches for the title, I think everyone kind of is, you know, in the shadows and scurrying around and not living their best life.
They always win. The
So,
bugs and
the
nature
next-
will always win.
Yeah. The next album is like outside of the Earth entirely, basically Earth or whatever fucking Morgoth, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, you said there was an album where he owns the prison colony, right?
there's a bunch of back and forth, and like at one
Okay.
point, I know he's like torturing somebody, and like
Yeah.
it's like his role's been inverted.
Oh, so he's the one that's doing the oppressing.
And like, so the next album is like a whole nother dimension where theoretically he's been sucked into another dimension. Like he's no longer in this plane of existence. And so the question is Earth or wherever like planet he's from just completely gone, which seems likely. So I feel like cockroaches is the end of human civilization as he's stuck on his prison ship being tortured throughout space, trying to escape whatever it is. And after that point, he's like an immortal, non-linear being, you know?
Yeah, kind of like Ender in the Enderverse at
Mhm.
some point. Yeah. Hey, Scott.
Hi.
Hi.
You guys keep changing positions in my Zoom feed. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh man. I just figured out how to use the backgrounds on the Zoom. I'm growing.
The what?
The backgrounds on the Zoom. Like
I don't know how to do that either.
Oh yeah, no, you can
Me
choose a
neither.
virtual background. Like
Yeah, I
you
saw
know,
Nate had some
like
cool
we're in
ones earlier.
space. You know, we're talking about space, so now I'm in space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my!
It doesn't look
Could be-
great, but
Be floating out
it
there.
does something. But yeah, this is a nice little conclusion to this story. Like I feel like it mostly connects. Besides, like I don't know how he gets to space and back. I don't know. I have a few questions for sure, but I don't know if this is really meant to understand the exact chronology of what's going on.
Yeah.
It seems like it's like at times like I feel like the last 3 tracks really connect, like very they're all kind of talking about like a similar thing and a progression of things, but and otherwise it's just describing that planet.
Oh, you're gone, Brad.
I'm gone entirely. Oh,
Oh
man.
no.
It's,
He's
I'm
transporting to another universe.
lost in space. Oh shit. Oh no. I hope I don't become forgotten in space. But yeah, we'll definitely have to do some more Voivod. I feel like this is a story that I wanna know more about. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll just pick another one, a previous one or a later one that's just good or what. But Do you have another Voivod that you think that we should cover in particular? Reese?
All of them, but no. That's a hard question. I mean, I love the discography. Like, I don't think there's one that I won't listen to. I've actually done a couple different road trips where like I've blasted this the whole way for like 14 hours from Wisconsin back to Colorado and stuff. And
Nice.
yeah, I enjoy it. Enjoy it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to.
Nothing Face would probably be a really good one. That is like, I guess, like the broader consideration. I actually don't know if it's my favorite, but I think that it's the most positively reviewed and like loved of all of their albums, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I will. I have some more home. I feel like this is my next Iron Maiden now.
Yeah,
that was like
Done
my
it for a while now.
Yeah, that was my previous project, was listening through the Iron Maiden discography. But I think that I might jump on to Voivod and start to finish. I'm so
Definitely.
curious. But yeah, I think we're getting to the end of the podcast, but we will get to one more thing. What has everyone been listening to? And I'll go in the same. Oh wait, you guys switched from when the What Is Dave Drinking happened. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna go in the same order, kind of. Scott, what have you been listening to lately?
Oh, I don't know. Just a little bit of everything, really. Got to switch it up. It's a big one.
Listening to the beat of your own heart.
Pretty much. There's been some Children of Bodom in there, which is nice. Good.
Nice.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is classic now, isn't it?
What's I've been listening to? I don't know, just kind of stuff along that lines. Like I listen to Pandora, so I'll put on like that artist radio and just kind of everything that follows with it. So
some melodic death is what the kind of vein you're in.
yeah, pretty much.
I love it, man.
That gets me through, keeps me energized for doing schoolwork and shit. So
I'll send you some stuff.
hell yeah, always looking for new stuff. So
nice. What about you, John? What have you been jamming on recently?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Tom Petty. Just
Okay. Tom Petty
throwing in
and then Heartbreakers.
his, collective works.
Yeah.
Otherwise, always it was good to give Nathaniel Radcliffe a listen to. Hey Mama. It's a very good song. I've quite enjoyed that. Got a pretty good message.
Yeah.
About how sometimes you gotta work for you gotta work for when you can say you're doing pretty well. And just listen to the song. It's a good song.
All right. Yeah. I'll check it out. What about you, Nate? What have you been listening to lately? And you want to plug your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel once again is Grimgar, GRYMGAR. I'm on YouTube, and the thing that I've been listening to a lot lately, for some reason, I said this in the last one, but 2 Minutes to Late Night is a YouTube channel that does a lot of cool covers of metal songs, but also non-metal songs in the style of metal. But then via that, I've been getting back into Typo Negative, which is like a goth metal band from the 90s that I could best explain as like Universal Monster character trying to have sex with goth chicks. Basically, is the music style.
Okay,
it's sexy vampire music.
Okay. Well, I was just listening to some Nine Inch Nails today. Is it kind of in that vein? Or is that a different thing entirely? Nine Inch Nails, I guess, is his own thing. I guess
they're different. But you should check out. Be My Druidess or Love You to Death. From
Be My
October
Druidess.
Rust by
I like
Type of Negative. Yeah,
I like Be My Druidess. That's a good title.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Reese? What have you been jamming on? And if you have anything to plug too,
Two bands, and these are pretty regular for me at this point. Solitude Aeternus, which is like a slower doom metal band that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
Um,
I love me some Doom.
actually, Saint Vitus too, which is another even like Saint Vitus is like plotting pace, but it's so good.
Yeah.
And then Bolt Thrower, which is totally the opposite direction, chuggy death metal about sci-fi and Warhammer 40k destruction. Because that is honestly probably my favorite band of all time, and I love them, and I have to listen to their discography at least once a month. And you just caught me right after that once a month. So
Oh, nice, nice.
yeah.
No, they're yeah, I have some groups like that where it's like, well, for me, I have to stop myself from listening to it because if I hear it too much, no matter how much I like it, I will ruin it.
I can't ruin Bolt Thrower for myself. If I could, I would have already.
You know, I guess that's Run the Jewels though. I don't get sick of. That's what
Yeah.
that's the caveat. But I think we all have that. We all have that one that just like one or two that just connects with your soul on a level that like no other music does. Um, but yeah, as for anything else you wanted to plug on that? All right. As for me, I've been listening to. I just want to give a shout out to this band in general, Inspector 34. They came out with this music video for a song called Gray House, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend looking up the music video online. But I was friends with one of the members on a fan page for Hollywood Handbook, which I've mentioned on the podcast before, and it is a legitimately like great tune. I really enjoy their stuff so far, and they're going to be on the podcast at some point in the near future. So
one more time because I didn't get the name.
oh,
So.
Inspector 34, and the song is Gray House. But yeah, check out their stuff on Spotify though; it's really good. I just listened through their discography today, and it kind of reminds me of maybe some like earlier King Gizzard before they hit Nonagon Infinity era, you know. And yeah, kind of like psychedelic, really cool effects going on. Yeah, really like it. And then I was listening to some Nine Inch Nails, preparing for an episode, and then Charles Bradley Changes because I watched the music video for Hurt, and then the next one was Changes. So yeah, if you know either of those music videos, you know like yeah, they go together. Um, do you know what I'm talking about, Reese? Changes, the one by Charles Bradley,
I don't watch music videos, and that's like
well,
I
this one
just straight up do not.
so it's a cover of a Black Sabbath tune, Changes, but it's just like kind of like a soul singer singing it instead in a different, like kind of a different, like kind of gospel-y kind of way. It's
Oh, I
really,
love
really
I
good.
love that song covered just about any way.
Yeah, it's one of the better covers out there. And then the guy that did the cover like died like shortly after the music video and stuff. So it was just like, oh man. But yeah, that's what I've been listening to. And then we have some episodes of Travelers, Dark Podcast. Check those out. We have season 1 completed, and we got hopefully an episode of season 2 out by now. And yeah. I almost forgot. We got the album concept hour side B coming up soon, guys. And that is going to be involving Nate and Reis. And we are going to be continuing off of what we were talking about in a previous episode about getting through all the 50 states, because we noticed there's a lot of albums with states. Yeah, we'll have side B. We're going to be starting to record some episodes for you guys. And it is going to be behind the paywall on our Patreon. I'm launching a Patreon, guys, finally. And it's not going to be Revolver Audio. It's going to be Flyover State Park. So I'm changing the name because, obvious reasons, if you've ever tried to say Revolver Audio. And yeah, it's going to be just go to patreon.com/flyoverstatepark if you want to support me. We will be putting episodes out on there soon, but if you want to go and start supporting me anyway, they will, all the costs will go towards, helping me keep the content going, guys. So, yeah, I'm finally doing that Patreon shit.
So if you're ever wondering what happened to Revolver Audio, it's the same thing that happened to the O-Meters.
Yeah, it's just like you can't quite read it the correct way. I think when Scott Aukerman said it wrong, I was like, this probably isn't gonna work out. But I had a backup plan, so fortunately, I knew that it probably wasn't going to stick. But yeah, Flyover State Park. I got a logo and everything. Nate hopefully will be showing up on some of that stuff with the games, and we'll be letting you know what new stuff is going to be coming out of the oven here.
And give Brad money for that on Patreon, and he takes his clothes off. He promised.
Yeah, and yeah, well, that's like I said though, that's going to be maybe tier 3, probably tier 3.
$49.99 a month.
Yeah, you know what? I like that the price keeps going up.
$4.99 a month.
He says $49.99 a month. I like that better even than $20.
Drop a 9.
I'm actually gonna just have an auction for that one. Maybe just you can keep on auctioning more and more.
How much is it for you to grow your hair out and do a naked Jesus with glasses photo shoot?
Well, I mean, all I really would need to do is do the photo shoot. I'm already there. I have my COVID hair. If you haven't,
no, it actually has to cover your nipples, and then it'll be there.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a lot more classy.
It needs to be mermaid.
Okay. I'm almost there though. This is, I think, the longest my hair has ever been. And it's been long before, but this is COVID hair, guys. Yeah. But yeah, that's we got. Sorry, I forgot we were wrapping up the podcast. So yeah, we are. That has been the album concept hour. Check out that Patreon. Check out Nate's Twitch stream on Grimgar and YouTube.
It's okay. It's
on
okay. I'll
YouTube.
be on Twitch at some point.
Yes, sorry. And and I will be on Twitch in the past when this comes out. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. This has been the Album Concept Hour. Thanks for listening. The Album Concept Hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, John Aker, and Scott Wesley. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Please like us on Facebook or friend us on Twitter or MySpace and let us know what concept album you would like to hear on the podcast. See you on Side B. This has been a Revolver Audio production. Executive producer Brad LeBaron. For more podcasts, visit soundcloud.com/Revolver Audio, or to support new content, visit co-fi.com/Revolver Audio. Revolver.